Hey guys, Dan here from Range of Motion. I want to give you the three stages I follow to create the perfect initial client meeting. That initial sit down chat with your members, the rapport building, and the sale, if you want to use that word. Although what you'll see as we go is that there is absolutely no sale involved in this process. This is a little bit of a teaser as well of some of the content we'll be covering in the 2020 Perth Fitness Business Summit. I'll post links to that below if you guys are interested. We have tickets remaining for that. Also some payment plans and stuff, and still some early bird tickets remaining. So that initial sit down with your clients, obviously the purpose of this is to progress them through their experience, to progress them through their journey with you, with your facility, with your gym, with your health facility, or any service that you may be offering outside this industry. This is not about sales. This is not about scripts. This is not about certain processes you always follow. This first chat is simply about human decency. And as soon as you start to think about it that way, as a conversation, as rapport building, you start to lose that sort of icky, dirty feeling you get as if you're trying to make a sale to someone. And as soon as they realize that you're just approaching this as a person having a conversation with them, they sort of bring their wall down, and you can really then establish how you can best help them. So again, the purpose of this is to progress them through that journey. Now, at Range of Motion, and again, this is something that we'll be going through in detail in the Business Summit, we have a very set process that people follow. A pipeline that they follow from when they first become aware, interested, knowledgeable about your business right through to 36 months. And we track about 18 different steps that they will go. It's what we call our macro client journey. And the purpose of this is just to progress them to that next stage in the macro client journey. Now, over the last 3 years in how we track this journey, and we track what percentage of people progress from one stage of the journey to the next. Over the course of this, over the last 3 years, we convert 95% of people from this first sit down session, which I will always do, to them then coming in and doing a complimentary session with one of our personal coaches. All of our clients, our business model, all of our clients work one-on-one with a personal coach at Range of Motion. So it's just about moving them to that next stage. We have a 95% conversion rate, and what I'll do, guys, is talk you through exactly what I talk about and what these three stages are to be able to hopefully move people along. But it's not just about that. This really is a test to see if the values match, whether the values of the person who is effectively interviewing to become a client or a member at your facility or your boot camp, personal training business, whatever it is. It's an interview to see whether there's a value fit there. Do they match your values? Do you match their values? And if they do, if there's a value match there, then this person will become an effective long-term client. They will become someone who is invested, they match your avatar, and they're great for the culture of your business. So let's talk through this in chronological order. They come in, hi, shaking hands, how you doing? Offer them a drink, offer them a coffee, a cold brew coffee if you've got them in the fridge, offer them a water. You're inviting these people into your home, and remember that they are probably terrified. They are probably really scared about this new environment that they've walked into. A lot of people are looking for your help because they haven't been able to get this elsewhere, which tells you that straight off the bat they've had a negative experience in a similar place with a similar person to you. So invite them in, just like you'd invite or welcome someone into your home, pour them a glass of wine, you do the same thing. Water, cold brew coffee, etc. So that's the first thing that you want to be doing. This is not a gym tour. This is not telling them about what you do. That's not the purpose here at all. Like we've said, it's a test to see if there's a culture fit, if there's a core value fit there. It's not, hey, look at all the great equipment we have. Look at all these packages we have. Look how cheap our service is. Look how good the access is here. It's not about that at all. This is more about, and you should spend more time talking about their kids and their dogs and what they do for work and the social sport they play on the weekend, where they went to school, where they went to uni, what they study. building a rapport and finding these commonalities between your own life and their life. Oh, so you live in East Perth. I live in East Perth too. Oh, you have a baby. I have a baby too. Little boy or a little girl. Building this rapport, establishing a culture fit. That's where most of the time should be spent. So that is the first of our 3 stages here of starting this journey. The first of our 3 stages is a conversation. It's not a sale. It's not all about listening. That's the second stage. It's not all about talking. It's about having a conversation like you would with mates at a barbie on a Saturday afternoon. So there's stage 1. Talking about their life, about your life, about building that rapport. Stage number 2, this is where we go onto the listening stage. Here's how I would do this. I basically say to them, okay, so let's talk about how we can help. Tell me why you initially contacted us. Why did you initially approach us? What can we do for you? And then I'll sort of change my body language. I'll sit back a little bit, sort of fold my hands and let them do the talking. I'll take some notes as I go so I can refer back to those. And also it lets them know that you're invested in what they're saying and that you're putting some ideas together for what that plan of attack for them would be in the future. So this is the listening phase. It's a matter of just asking questions, making small interruptions here and there. Okay, tell me about that shoulder injury a little bit more. Or why did this approach not work for you in the past? So just starting to get some information to establish what it is that they actually need from you. From this point, this is the bit that takes a little bit of guts. From this point, you need to establish whether you're a good fit. Not necessarily a cultural fit, but the service you're offering, does it solve their problems? If someone comes to Range of Motion, for example, and they want some sort of hardcore weight loss plan, that's not what we do. So you need to fall back on your unique selling proposition. What is it that you do better than anyone else in Perth, in Australia, in the world? And you need to have that confidence about your unique selling proposition. Our USP at Range of Motion is our real individualization of what we do. It's the fact that we show individualized care for every single person who comes in. We have 170 odd clients, and again, every single one of those works one-on-one with their personal coach. We don't have group classes. There's no membership where you can just come in and use that facility. It's what we hang our hat on. Now, if someone's coming in for a service and the service or the solution to their problem is not what you do, you need to have the guts to say that to them. And this comes back to the purpose of your business. And again, I've spoken about this before, but you should be looking to try to build a purpose-based business, a purpose-driven business. You're not trying to create a business that is for profit. You're trying to create a business that is for purpose. Let's talk about the difference and why one can mean the other, but the other can't necessarily mean the one. If you have a for-profit organization like a big bank, it doesn't necessarily imply that there will be purpose, that there will be legacy, that you will be leaving a positive mark on the world. However, if you build a purpose-driven business, a business that is for purpose as opposed to for profit, that will almost always then result in a better bottom line. It will almost always result in a for-profit business as well. Build a for-purpose business, it will give you profit. Build a for-profit business, it won't necessarily give you purpose. The bottom line will look after itself if you look after the needs of your potential clients and if you solve the problems of your potential clients. So you need to fall back on what this mission of your business is. Your mission is going to be something along the lines of building happy, healthy people, building happy, healthy communities, etc. Your mission is not to make as much money as possible. Building happy and healthy communities, happy, healthy individuals, that will give you that bottom line almost by definition. So if you are not the best fit, if you are not the best person to solve the problems of this client, you come back to your mission. Your mission is to build happy, healthy people. There's nothing in that mission that says I must build happy, healthy people at Range of Motion, just that I must build happy, healthy people. My responsibility therefore becomes, okay, I don't think we're the best fit for you. Here's why. XYZ. However, these are some people I know. These are some health professionals you can go to who I think can solve your problem. And it's something that we will do quite often. We will quite often turn away clients, not because they're not a great culture fit, but because we have confidence in our product. It's just as important to know who you are not well positioned to help as it is to know who you are well positioned to help. Take some guts because you're turning people away. But I promise you, in the long run, if you have that clarity in what you do, that clarity in the people you help, the clarity in the problems that you solve, that will absolutely improve your bottom line, and it'll make it a much more purpose-driven business as well. So if you feel like you do solve their problems, if you feel like you are the right fit, and you should have that confidence in your product, this is where you say, okay, let me tell you how I think we can help you. Here's what we do. This is maybe where you talk about your products and your services. This is where you talk about some of those unique selling propositions, some of those key points that make you different to other people, some of the things that make you different to other people who may be offering a similar sort of service. And again, the key term here is different. It's not better. I would never say that we are better than someone who does 80 group classes every week. Absolutely not the case. Sure, we are different. We are for the sort of person who needs that more individualized care. So talk people through what you do, through how you operate, through your points of difference, and then you would say to them, does this sound like what you've been looking for? Now, either they're going to say, yes, this sounds like what I'm looking for, and you can keep the conversation going, or they can say, no, this doesn't sound right for me, in which case this is where you maybe recommend some other people who are going to be a better fit for them, some other services or facilities or professionals who will be a better fit for them. If, however, they say, yep, sounds amazing, where have you been all my life, this is what I've been looking for, this is basically where you need to turn into the professional. So you've gone from a conversation at the start into really going into listening mode. Now you go more into talking mode, into advice giving mode. And I refer to this as being the mechanic. Now, I know nothing about cars. I'm not a car guy. And if I go to the mechanic, I'm not going to say to them, yep, there's a problem with the firing rate of these pistons, which is causing, see, I'm making things up. I'm just going to say to them, yeah, there's a weird humming noise coming from the engine. Then the mechanic is going to say, okay, here's what the issue is. Here's what it costs. Here's what I recommend. I say, yep, okay, I guess I don't know any better. I'm going to go with what you advise. Our responsibility is to do exactly the same thing. These people are coming to us for our advice. We are the authority figure here. We're the people who know how to solve their problems. So this is what you do next. You say, okay, I've heard what your problems are. You feel like what we do is in line with what you're looking for. Here is what I would recommend next. I would suggest that the best approach for you would be to work with one of our personal coaches twice a week. Now, each session there is going to cost you $60, so it's a total of $120. That would be my recommendation for you. Does that sound doable? So there's no sale here. There's no, here are our options. You've got to choose one of these options and then you need to give us your money. This is about helping them, and helping them, you taking their money is them taking your service. There is a value exchange there. There's no winner or loser. Each party needs to feel like they are winning, and that's how we define how much value there is in your service. So you need to have that confidence in your product, so much confidence that you can say, here's what you should do. Now, this is no more salesy than you saying to your mother or your father or your son or your daughter or your husband or your wife or your partner, here is what I think you should do. Here's the exercise I think that you should be doing. You're not trying to sell to them. You're simply saying that I believe I'm the best person to solve the unique problem that you've approached me with. Here is how you solve that problem. We are not salespeople. We shouldn't be salespeople. There should be no element of sales here. We are not salespeople, we are problem solvers. And if you can remember that you exist, that you are there to solve the problems of the people who approach you, to solve the problems of the people who put trust in you, if you can remember that, you will never need to make a sale in your life. Because instead you'll be solving people's problems and you will become so highly sought after because you are the person, the authority who is well positioned to solve the problems of the avatar that you choose to help, using your unique selling proposition to build a purpose-driven business which is going to help people. After that, you basically say, right, here's the next step. We need to book you in for XYZ. You need to sign up here. You take them through that next step. You can see that as you go, there's just all this whole series of little checks. Are we right for you? Is there a culture fit? Do we have the service that you're looking for? All these little steps that we go through to make sure that they are going to be really qualified to be someone who is going to be a long-term client, a long-term member, a long-term part of your business. And again, guys, I track this right out to 3 years plus. I don't celebrate, yes, we've achieved a new client, we've made a sale, we've got their first payment, we've got their first handover of cash. That's not the case at all. This is when the sales process really begins. When they have become a client, then you need to look after them. You have to over-deliver on all those promises that you've set. 2 takeaways for you. That initial sit down. The first thing to do is to form relationships. You must form a relationship with this person. And the second thing you need to do is to solve their problems. If you build a rapport, if you form that relationship, and if you solve the problems or show the pathway forward to solve those problems of your potential new clients, you will never have to make a sale in your life. Guys, I hope this has been of interest. If this sort of content is of use to you, please consider at least have a look at the 2 events we have coming up. The first is the 2020 Perth Fitness Business Summit in October. The second is our 2020 Perth Fitness Industry PD event. They're both one-day events, full-on one-day events, very, very long days. But I promise you guys, I'll be teaching you everything I know to absolutely turbocharge either your fitness business or your expertise in this industry. Thanks, guys. If you have any questions on this, please let me know. My email is dan@rangeofmotion.net.au, or of course, you can comment wherever you're watching this video. Thanks. I hope this has been of use. I'll see you again soon.